Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. Well, today I wanted to show you the little removable armour that we have made for our Minecraft Steve. This is the diamond armour. Now, the reason I'm doing diamond armour is because of his little turquoise shirt. I have not made a removable shirt. What I have made, however, is the little removable pants for him. Okay, as you can see here. Now I will do separate video for the pants, but also for his little diamond helmet. Okay, so this video we're actually going to concentrate on his little helmet. So here he is. Okay, that's the normal Minecraft Steve. You can find, I'll put a link up here so that you can find his tutorial. But this tutorial we're actually going to work on his little helmet, and then the next one we're going to work on his little pants. Now, I have used Rainbow Loom turquoise for these, okay? The opaque turquoise, which I love. I've run out of it. I have ordered some more. So what I'm actually going to use for this particular tutorial, these I ordered from Kirin stores. They're the Loom Bands brand. They are actually very nice to use. I do not know how they'll stand up to time. These are actually a jelly turquoise, and they're the only turquoise I have, which is why I'm going to use these. So if you are using Kirin stores, they're an Australian website, and you can get different coloured bands than the ones that Rainbow Loom use. And I used their, before Rainbow Loom had their skin tone bands, I used Kirin stores skin tone bands exclusively. I loved them. They were very, very nice. But I still do an occasional order from Kirin stores because they have different colours that aren't available from Rainbow Loom. So that is what I'm using today to make the diamond helmet. As I said, it is a slightly different colour. Now, that being said, you don't have to just do the turquoise. You can use gold, make a yellow one and make it a gold set of armour or whatever, but I just we rather like the diamond armour in our family, so that's what I'm going to start with. Alright, so we're going to, let me grab the helmet. We're going to start by doing a magic ring. The magic ring is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 stitches in it. So I've got my 2.75 crochet hook, that's the one I like best. I'm also using a stitch marker. If you don't have a stitch marker like this, you can just use bobby pin, C-clip, S-clip, safety pin, paper clip, whatever you happen to have, that works. Okay, so as I said, we're doing a magic ring of 8. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and 1 for your hook. Now if you don't use your hook, you might use your Loomy Loom. You can use a peg of your regular loom. You can have the help of a little stitch marker. Take your first band and wrap it around your hook twice. I'm sorry, you want 3 loops, so wrap it once and twice, and so you've got 3 little loops. Okay, I'm going to use my stitch marker just so that I can show you exactly where I'm going. Okay, so through that little, we call this the end cap, you're going to pull your first band and do a little slip stitch. Okay, then you're going to go back through the end cap, and one by one you're going to pull these through and do a little slip stitch and join them. Okay, so that you have 8 in a little circle. And when you get to the stage where you can actually hold on to this, sometimes if you don't have nails it's a bit tricky to hold on to. That's why I quite like having the little stitch marker to hang on to, just to help you. So here we go, let's do our magic ring of 8. And it gets a bit tight and squeezy, but you can do it. Alright, so there's our little ring of 8. Now we're going to do an increase in each stitch. So that is going to take us from 8 stitches around to 16. So you're going to do your first single crochet and put your stitch marker on it. And then you're going to go into that first stitch again and do another single crochet. So that's 2 in the same stitch. Let's do that for every single stitch that we have. Every stitch, each of the 8, is going to have 2 stitches in it. So you'll end up with 16 around. And if in doubt, count them when you finish, just to make sure. Because if you mess up now, it's too late if you go further. Messing up now is easy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16 is on my hook where it's supposed to be. Now what we're going to do, you're going to do 3 single crochets and an increase, 3 single crochets and an increase. Now our increase we're not going to do just as a normal increase, we're going to do 3 stitches in our increase. So 3 single crochets and then an increase with 3 in them, okay? And you're going to do this 4 times. So lay your bands out if you need to. If you don't, that's fine. So our first single crochet, go through your first stitch, move your stitch marker to it, and then you're going into the next stitch. Single crochet, single crochet, and then in the 4th stitch you do 3 single crochets. So 1, back in through the same stitch, 2, back into the same stitch, 3, and then do that again. 1, the next one, the 3rd one. Oh, that's a nasty band. Let's pick a nicer one. And now we do 3 stitches in this single stitch. 1, 2, and 3. And again, our first single crochet, our second crochet, our 3rd crochet, and then 3 crochets in the same stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Just like when we do Steve's head, our first, our second, our 3rd, and 3 in the same stitch. 1, 2, and whoops, 3. See how you have a sort of little square shape here. So the next round is going to be a little bit complicated. We're going to start by doing 4 single crochets. So through the first stitch and move your stitch marker. So that's number 1. And then you do 2, 3, and 4. The next stitch you're going to do 3 single crochets in that same stitch, okay? 1, 2, and 3. You're going to do 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're then going to do 3 single crochets in this stitch. 1, 2, and 3. You're now going to do 5 single crochets in the next stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you're going to do 3 single crochets in the next stitch. 1, back in, 2, back in, 3. 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 in the same stitch, 1, 2, and 3, and then 2 single crochets in the last 2 stitches. So 1 in the second to last stitch and 1 in the last stitch. So we've maintained our squarish shape. Okay, that's really important. We now have 32 stitches all the way around. What we're going to do now is a single crochet on the inside loop. This is the inside loop here. Okay, so going through the single loop only. So normally we would go through both loops. We're just going through the single loop on the inside closest to us, and we're going to do a single crochet, move your stitch marker, and all the way around in the inside loop only do a single crochet. So again, with no decreases or increases, you're going to be using 32 bands and have 32 stitches. Working on the inside loop changes the direction of your work. So instead of going out and making it wider and wider and wider, we're changing the angle and we're coming down inside. Like we've made a little right angle happen here. Make sure you don't skip a stitch. These are quite jellyish bands, I have to say, so it's a bit odd working with them. And they do feel different from Rainbow Loom. Rainbow Loom are my preferred bands, I should mention. I think everybody knows that by now. So this is my last stitch here. Now, as you can see, we've got our square, and we've come down at a little angle, okay? Make sure that that's good. What we're going to do next is we're going to work out what side is what, okay? So, obviously, I'm going to make this the back, because this is where my stitch marker is at the moment. Please note it will migrate around. So this is going to be a side, this is going to be the front, and this is going to be the side. at the front here we need to add this little part here that goes at the front, okay? So I'm just going to pop a stitch here in the middle of the front, just so I don't forget that around somewhere there I'm going to need to add my little front part. Now, actually I'm telling you a bit of a fib. Well, no, we will do it on this. What we're going to do now is go around and do a single crochet. Okay, so going through your first stitch. Now this time you're going through both loops, okay, and you'll go through both loops and do a single crochet and move your stitch marker. So again, it's going to have 32 stitches to go around, but we're actually adding something right here. Okay, so let's do single crochets until we get to the front of our helmet. That's 3, 4, come back here, 5, about this, around the 16th stitch, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, now I'm going to do 14, and on 15 we're going to go through the next stitch, which is 15, pull the band through and add our loop to it, okay, as if we were doing a slip stitch, but we're not actually doing a slip stitch, okay. Then through 16 we're going to go through, and we're using the marker band, so we've got our little marker band here just like that, or add a band if you don't have the marker band. Pull through a second as if you're doing a chain, but then you're going to add it to this first loop of 14 like so, okay. You've got 3 loops on your hook, you're going to take another band and pull through like so. You're going back into 15, I'm sorry, this is 16, pull through, okay, with 1, and you're going to pull through the first 3 loops like so and join together. Then in the next you're going to pull through 1 and add this loop, the first one, to it like so, and pull through again, all 3, back into stitch 17 and pull through and add these 2 loops to it, so you're almost doing like a slip stitch, okay. So do a little slip stitch like so into the next stitch, 1, whoops, and 2, just normal single crochets. I'm going to pop a stitch marker on here just so we can have a look at what we've actually just done, okay. So this is the center of our helmet, and we've just sort of created this bobbly bit at the front to sit down over his head. So if I was to put his hat on here, it sits down like this, and it's sort of like the nose piece to mind his nose, like that. Alright, so that's what we just did then. So let's go all the way around now, back to our real stitch marker, just doing single crochets all the way around. All the way to our stitch marker. like so. So as you can see, we've got this little bit here which is the nose protector, and then we have the back and each side. We're going to single crochet for our next round. We're going to single crochet until we get to the corner here. Alright, so I'm going to go through, and we actually don't need our stitch marker anymore, so 1, I'm going to take my stitch marker off. That was our first stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and one more. On the 11th we're going to go through that stitch, add the loop to it, and we're then going to chain 1. Whoops, I'm going to throw it around. I'm going to chain 1 on top of that. I'm going to let everything go. So add my loop to it, like that, chain 1 on top of it, pinch, and move my hook to the other way. Alright, so now we're going to come back the opposite direction, okay, and we're going to do what's called a reverse crab, a reverse single crochet, because if we don't, we're going to get the little V's, we're going to get the stitch that you see here on the outside. So you need to be a little bit careful. As you can see, we've got 1 and 2, and this is our 3rd stitch here. You're going to take your hook and going from the, now this is the inside and this is the outside, so going from the inside to the outside, you're going to pull through a single band, okay, so you've got it on your hook like this, and if you need to use your fingers to start with, do that, and then pull it through. So do you see what I did there? I did a little slip knot with it. I'll do it one more time. Go from the inside to the outside, take your band, pull it through both loops, so you've got 4 loops on your hook, one over the other for the band that you just added, and then pull that through those 2, and then you're in your next stitch, and so you're effectively doing a backwards single crochet. So your band is here and you pull it through like so. It is a bit tricky, and it's even trickier when you go slowly, but if you need help doing this, in my tips and tricks you'll find a reverse single crochet stitch or the crab stitch, and I go through very slowly and clearly showing you how to do this particular stitch. And the beauty of doing it backwards is that you keep the continuity of the stitch. Okay, so now what we're going to do is do this reverse crab, get that yucky band out of the way, until we get to the other side. So let me show you at this corner here, okay. And don't skip a stitch, make sure you go through both loops of your stitch and pull it through. Now this is, whoopsie, this is the first of 4 rounds that we're going to do, okay, since doing the little nose piece on the front. So you do the nose piece and then you have 4 rounds where we're just working 3/4. We're not doing anything more to the front of our helmet. And you're just working in single crochets. When you go this way, you're working in a reverse single crochet, and when you're going the other way, you're working in a normal single crochet. Oops, come back here. So I'm just about at the corner here before I get to the front. So this is my last stitch. This is the actual corner. So I'm going to go through the corner, add my loop. Okay, I'm going to chain one, move my stitch, my hook to the other way, skip, skip, and in this stitch here I'm going to, and again I've gone from the inside to the outside, but I'm reversing my way, so I'm now doing a normal single crochet. Do you see how I'm going back the other way now? I'm doing a normal single crochet, and I'm going to go all the way until I get to the other side. Make sure you go through both loops, don't miss one out. Now, this is my second last stitch. You're going to hold this up. If you just make sure that this isn't twisted, you can see this here is the actual stitch that you want to go through. Again, you're going to pull your band through, add your loop, and then again you're going to chain another band onto that, pinch, move your hook, skip, skip, and we're going from the inside to the outside, and we're working in a crab stitch again. Okay, pull your band through, one over the other, and through those two loops. So again, we're going backwards again for this round. And we're going all the way until we get to our last stitch again, where again we'll do our little slip stitch, chain one, reverse and come back the other way. Okay, whoops, come back here you. Try not to stretch the bands, but you will find, I think, especially doing it the reverse, that you kind of need to hold your bands in place so you don't lose them. I sort of hold them here. I'm not stretching them, but I am definitely making sure I have a firm grip of them. second to last stitch, and then this is my last stitch. Again, make sure you go through your real stitch, go through, add the loop, chain one, move your hook the other way, and I'm going to do one more round going back this way before we do another little bit of fancy footwork. So 1, 2, and back we go. Oops. Okay, so I'm back at the beginning here, so that's a nasty band. I'm going to just go through. Now I'm just going to pop my hook through this stitch here, the last one. Before I chain, I'm going to put my stitch marker on, okay, before I go back the other way, because what I want to do is pop it on his head to see how we're doing. Now I think that what we need to do now is actually go back, okay. If you have a look at the other one that I've done, come here you, if you have a look, we actually skip 4 stitches here and then start and do 2 rounds just at a sort of smaller level here. So if you have a look, he's about at the right stage for us to do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to backtrack a bit here, okay. So put this back on my hook. I'm going to collect my little loop here, okay. That's 1 stitch. I'm going to go back. That's 2 stitch. I'm going to go back again. That's 3 stitch. And I'm going to go back 1 more, okay. That's 4 stitch. I'm going to take that out. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what I'm going to do now on this stitch here, this I've gone back 5 stitches. I'm going to treat this as if I'm doing my slip stitch, okay. And I'll add a loop to it. Okay, pinch and turn. So we're going to go backwards now, but if you remember, we don't want to go, we've got 5 stitches here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this here is our last stitch that we want to be working on. Alright, so I'm going to put a stitch marker there so that I know that I'm not going to go all the way up to this. So now we're working backwards. I'm going to turn my hook, make sure that I've got my hook the right way. I think I probably already did. Skip, skip into this little 3rd stitch here. Pull my band through. Make sure I go through both the loops. Come back. There we go. Go through all 3 loops. And I'm reverse single crocheting until I get to that stitch marker. whoopsie, let's be careful what I'm doing here. There we go. So that stitch marker represents my last stitch. Nearly there. My second to last stitch. So go through that last stitch. I'm going to take the stitch marker out now so that I've clearly got access to my last stitch. I'm going to pull a band through, add my loop, reclaim the end, chain another one, okay, turn my hook around, skip, skip into this loop, into this stitch, and I'm going to go through like this all the way until I get to the other end. I'm doing single crochets the normal way now, and when I get to the other end we actually get to tie off. Oh, come here, I don't want a twisted band. Here we go, I'm coming back down. This is my last stitch. Go through, add your loop, chain one, pinch, turn, skip, skip into that third stitch. Make sure it's just the third stitch, not everything else. There we are. We're going all the way to this end, reverse single crochet, and then as we come back single crochet for the next round, we're going to stop halfway, and that's where we'll finish. That's what I was trying to say in a very roundabout way. So we're doing reverse single crochet all the way to the end of this row, if I can get my bands to cooperate with my hands. If we don't finish in the middle, it will make it look like one side is longer than the other. That's also what I was trying to say. Okay, so here we go. Sometimes I get my merds waddled. Come back here, you're not going anywhere. No, you're really not. Get in there. There we are. Tricksy little bandies. Okay, so here's our stitch right here. Go through the stitch like so, pull through all three, chain one, pinch and turn. Now let's count how many stitches we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, so 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one here, number 7, that's where we're going to finish. Okay, so in through number 1, you've got skip, skip, and then that's your first stitch. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is going to be 7. So I'm going through and I'm going to do a tie off. So I've linked it together and I'm pulling it like so. If I hadn't done that, this side would be shorter than this side. So with the tie off band, all I'm going to do is go through some of these loops in the back, and I'm going to pull it back through. And it will be trickier because they're the jelly bands. I sound like I've got a lisp at the minute, but it's it's my braces, and I had them adjusted yesterday, so I'm in pain. Alright, so there is the back of the helmet. Here is the front of the helmet. After leaving them for a few hours a day or so, the bands actually relax a little bit and they look so much nicer. But there you go. There is his little helmet. If you don't want to do the extra row, you can stop it. You can make it a bit shorter. I think this one probably is a bit shorter. Let's have a look. Yes, it is. If you look at that, I've done one round or one row more on that one. You don't have to. You can make it shorter. That's absolutely fine. But there he is. Pull the little bit for his nose down so he's protected. There's his little helmet. And in the next video, we will do his little trousers. Hope you enjoy. And as I said, you can make them any colour you want. You could do a gold helmet or whatnot. But there's his diamond helmet. Nice and strong. Take care, guys. If you like the video, big thumbs up would be appreciated. And subscribe and you'll find out when I have new videos. Take care. Bye.